Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about something that is really cool to learn, and it's called user input. So let's first of all think a little bit about a user input. What is a user input? We ask the user to write something, and then as we get his answer, we can write something to her. So he could probably give us her name, her email, her password, and we can store all that stuff inside a variable, for example. So let's start by telling you how the syntax of an input is on Python. So we have to write a variable name, in my case let's say input, and say that is equal to input, really straightforward, with open and closed parentheses. So inside those parentheses we can print something, but actually let's say that this is a name. Let's change the variable to the name, and let's print type your name. So if I now press F5, you can see that we get type your name, but we can write something. Okay, so that's really cool. So let's continue to our program and say that we can actually print hello, comma, as we did in the last video, and add the variable name. So I think that this is something really easy to understand. It's close to the same thing that we did on the last video. We have a variable name that is equal to input, and print hello and the name. So if I run the program and I type Dennis, we're going to get hello Dennis. So that's something really cool, but we can actually store this. We have already stored it to a variable, but we can of course say that we can print the name. So we can just print the name without anything else. So you can see that we get type your name, Dennis, and hello Dennis and Dennis. Okay, so that's something really easy. Let's go to something a little bit more complicated right now. So let's first of all create a variable that we're going to call num1, and set it equal to input. Okay, and let's actually print something here. Let's say type a number. We're going to create a calculator right now that adds two numbers. Num is equal to input, so num2 is equal to input, type another number, and now we can say that answer is equal to num1 plus num2, and just print the answer is comma answer. I think this example is easy to understand too. Let's first of all run it, and then I'm going to explain it one more time. So you can see, type a number, let's say 10, type another number 10, and you can see that this thing happens right here, and that's something really exciting or bad for you, I don't know. But do you remember in the previous video that we talked about ints, floats, booleans, all that stuff, strings? What we need to say, because the num1 doesn't know that the input is going to be something that is a number. It could be a float, it could be a string. So if we have strings and we say like up, and in the next one we say pl, we're going to get apple, because up plus pl is equal to apple. A bad example, but just forget it. What we need to do is we need to say that the num1 is an integer and the num2 is an integer as well. So to do that, we need to type int, open parentheses, and then close parentheses. So you can see that it highlights int with another color, and we need to do the same thing in num2. So it's an integer, and if we now run the program and we say type a number 10, type another number 10 as well, you can see that we get the answer is 20. So that's something really cool. You need to remember to put the int here, because you're going to use it a lot of times, the input. So that's something that you don't need to forget. And now what else you can see here, that if I run the program and I say 10.3 and 3.2 and I run the program, you can see that we get an error. Okay, that's pretty interesting too. Why we got this error? Okay, so because we set that each of these variables, num1 and num2, are integer numbers. So we need to set them to float, and that's what I recommend, because with float values we can write integers too. So you can see here that I can write 10.5 plus 3 and we get 13.5. We can only write integers if we want. Let's do the same example, 10 and 10, we get 20. So that's something really cool and really easy to do in Python. In other programming languages to do that, it's really complicated. So that's it for today's video. I hope you learned something new, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.